There's a kind of relief that most people don't even realize they're missing. Not excitement, not motivation, not even happiness, just relief. The kind that comes when the noise in your head goes quiet. No more, shall I, shouldn't I, no I won't, maybe just tonight, I'll start again tomorrow. Just silence. In this video, I want to show you something most people overlook. That when you stop negotiating with yourself, you don't just change your behaviour, you experience a very specific kind of calm, a steady, grounded relief that comes from finally being decided. Most people don't realise how much mental noise they're carrying until it's gone. Because when you're in it, it feels normal. That constant background thinking, that low-level tension, that quiet, ongoing debate. Maybe later. Just one won't hurt. You've done well this week. It doesn't feel dramatic, but it's always there, like a tab open in your mind that never fully closes. And even when you're not drinking, a part of you is still thinking about it, still weighing it up, still keeping the option open. And that's what drains you. Not just the behaviour, but the constant possibility of it. Now imagine that conversation just stops. Not because you forced it to stop, not because you're resisting harder, but because there's nothing left to decide. This isn't something I do anymore. And once that becomes true for you, something unexpected happens. You don't feel restricted. You feel relieved. Because all that mental energy you were using to negotiate is suddenly available again. Evenings feel quieter. Your mind feels clearer. You're no longer carrying that subtle tension of knowing you might go back on your word. You're just done with that conversation. This is very different from willpower. Willpower feels tight. It feels like effort, like holding something in place. But this feels like release, because you're not constantly resisting an urge, you're no longer engaging with it. And that's a completely different experience. It's the difference between trying not to do something and no longer needing to consider it at all. One feels exhausting, the other feels peaceful. This is also where something important starts to come back. Self-trust. Not in a big, dramatic way, but quietly. Because when you stop negotiating, you start doing what you said you would do. And when that happens consistently, a part of you begins to relax. You stop second-guessing yourself. You stop overthinking decisions. You stop needing constant reassurance, because your word starts to feel solid again. And that creates a kind of internal stability that most people haven't felt in a long time. Here's something subtle. A lot of people resist this shift without even knowing they're doing it. Because ending negotiation can feel final, like you're closing a door, giving something up. And part of you still wants to keep that option open, just in case, just for special occasions, just to feel normal. But that just in case is exactly what keeps the negotiation alive. And as long as negotiation is alive, so is the noise, so is the tension, so is the exhaustion. This is the trade-off most people are making without fully realizing it. They keep the option open, and in return, they stay mentally busy. They stay slightly unsettled. They keep the flexibility, but lose the peace. And when you see that clearly, the decision starts to shift. Because you realize you're not giving something up. You're actually letting something go that was quietly taking much more than it gave. When the negotiation stops, life doesn't suddenly become perfect, but it does become simpler. Evenings feel lighter, decisions feel cleaner, your mind feels less crowded. You don't need to constantly check in with yourself. You don't need to keep revisiting the same question. You just move forward. And there's a quiet confidence in that. Not loud, not forced, just steady. And over time, that steadiness becomes your new normal. So if you've been feeling mentally drained, constantly going back and forth in your own head, this might be what's missing. Not more effort, not more control, just the end of negotiation. Because once that ends, you don't just change what you do, you change how it feels to be you. In the next video, I want to explore something deeper. What happens when your identity starts to catch up with this change and you begin to see yourself differently? Because this is where things become permanent. And most people don't realize how that shift actually happens. I'll see you there.